Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 16th. Hey, we'll be checking in next week with the fishing report, but don't forget, Bucks Island is closed. December 18th through January the 2nd is when we open back up. But we'll be right back with what the guys have to say to go fishing on your lake. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 16th. Hey, we're joined by a favorite Santa Claus who brings gifts every time he shows around Lee Pitts. Going to talk a little Neely Henry and Weiss Lake fishing. What's going on at Neely Henry these days, Mr. Lee?
You know, right now it's one of those exciting times for me because we get to talk about our Bobby Garland products a whole bunch because the crappie are kind of taking the main stage right now at Weiss and Neely. A lot of the guys, you know, that they're down there on that main river channel. Most of them, I think, are staying downriver some, but up and down through there, getting on that standing timber, the old timber that's still there, and some of the brush piles. Everything seems to be at Neely out there on that river channel, and you know, a lot of guys are using live bait, but we're getting out there with some of these Garland products. As long as you can get it down there and kind of hold it straight up and down vertical, man, you can work this, and people are catching some really, really good crappie at Neely right now.
How deep are they running?
Anywhere from 14, 16 foot, something like that. You know, they're kind of holding tight to that bottom. Both lakes right now are doing about the same, and it's you know, the water temperature is finally getting down there. These fish are where they should have been the end of October, November. They're finally getting there now, so that's really kind of helping us, and there are a bunch of them there too.
What about the bass bite on Neely? What are you hearing out of that?
It's slowed down a little bit. You know, some guys are still catching some bass there. You know, spinnerbait deal, kind of chatterbait. I know a lot of guys, once again on both of them, kind of throwing a trap a little bit or some kind of, you know, vibrating bait that they can hop around a little bit, slow it down, just get on those hard bottoms and kind of hop it around.
Gotcha. All right, let's turn to Weiss Lake. What's going on up there?
Once again, our crappie. It's they're turning on right now and catching some size. I know this week we've had 2 3-pounders caught. One of my buddies that guys up there, he caught a 3-pounder, and then I talked to some other guys that they caught one too. But we're catching some good size, and once you get in them, they're scattered up and down the river once again, holding tight to that bottom. Most fish are a foot, 2 foot up off of that bottom, hanging down there close to that cover and getting on that structure, and just they're starting to feed. And not only the crappie there's also white bass with them, and it's a mixture of things right now. So you can get out, and a lot of guys, once again, they're dragging, you know, and I say dragging, they're out there vertical with minnows and using live bait. Man, our new Bobby Garland, that live roamer, is really been working good for me. I'm using a heavier head on it to get down and kind of, once I can catch a few and locate them, I can kind of get a little bit of a reaction bite with it, just kind of bouncing it around a little bit. So crappie fishing is really picking up right now on Weiss and Neely.
Yeah, and then find the wood for some bass, flip a little bit, maybe some slow spinnerbait. You put a few fish on the boat there too. Lee, man, yep. I appreciate everything, brother. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, Dano. Talk to you next week. See y'all.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 16th. Our little favorite Christmas treat is here. Gentry Gordy talking about Lake Martin and Jordan Lake. Gentry, what's happening on at Jordan Lake these days?
I got a chance to go up this week, Dano. I had a friend of mine call me and say, you know, hey, they're eating an Alabama rig. It was rainy. It was windy. I said, okay, so I go up there, slick calm, no wind, and I couldn't get bit on it. But, you know, this weekend we're supposed to get some of that breezier weather. So if you're going to be out there, I definitely have that tied on. When I was up there, it was, like I said, slick calm. I couldn't get them hardly anything on a moving bait, but did catch some pretty good fish just dragging a little baby D-bomb off the edges of the grass and flipping docks with it. I don't know if it was just a smaller profile of that, but when they hit it, though, they'd knock slack in it.
There's a lot of those baits, those smaller baits like the D-bomb, the baby Z-craw, some of those smally beaver. Some of those they produce seem on the Coosa River in general. So I look forward to throwing that myself a lot. All right, so are you seeing crappie boats out there?
Tell me again, Dana.
Are you seeing crappie boats out there on Jordan Lake?
Yes, and I've even seen them on my live because, I mean, just bass don't get in schools as big as that I've seen. And, you know, you try to run a crankbait through it and they all run from it. So, but yeah, they're definitely, they're grouped up. And, you know, in that, I found them a little deeper, 18 foot, you know, places like that. They're grouped up, but I can tell they're crappie because they're running from my bait.
I think bass do that to a lot of guys' baits too. Talk about Lake Martin now. Let's turn there. What's going on over there?
Martin's tough. It's usually this is the time of year that I really enjoy it, and you can get bit. It's just, there's no pattern, there's no big fish bait. I can't find any quality numbers. Your jerk bait, your small crankbaits, your swim baits, and even an A rig up there will work. But still, like we've talked about before, my better bites are just coming off trash piles. They're only, if you're lucky, 2 pounds. But it's just I'm looking for that 10 to 6 foot, the trash pile you can see in the back of a pocket, and you just have to hit 100 of them. Floating worm on top, then a jig or a shaky head, drag it through it.
Is the most consistent bite going to be something like a shaky head or a finesse jig?
Yeah, if you're taking the kids out, just want to go have fun, really just a swim bait around the mouths of some of the pockets and the cuts. I mean, that's your most consistent. But if you got a tournament, and trying to get a check, yeah, I think your trash piles are going to be better. And there's some people out there that jig a spoon in 40 foot and get bit. I don't do it. So it's hard for me to even speak on it.
Well, brother, we appreciate everything. Have a great day out there and be safe.
All right, guys, appreciate it.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 16th. Hey, we're getting closer to Christmas time, and we're going to spend a little time with our favorite present, Josh Herron, talking about Logan Martin and Lay Lake. What's going on, Josh?
Man, these fish are still really keyed up on bait right now. I think they're pretty much there for the winter. You got a lot of fish that are kind of out roaming right now. We've had a really, really dry fall, even into the winter right now. So everywhere is a lot clearer than you would expect, and I think that's just really giving these fish a chance to kind of break loose. And I mean, they can roam everywhere right now. I mean, Logan's got really good clarity on the bottom end. Lay's kind of the same deal. So you're seeing a lot more fish that are out there in that 25, 30. I mean, they're way out right now. Water temps are starting to get down there to where it's going to start kind of congregating these fish a little bit more every day. But right now, you kind of got these, it looks mostly like 5, 8, 10, 12 fish wolf packs that are just high speed going. I spent a lot of time on Logan on the bank last weekend, and it was really unproductive, which was kind of a shock. But I think a lot of that has to do with water clarity right now too.
Is it jerkbait time? Are we still, forward facing?
Man,
What are you finding most productive?
I mean, forward facing is the deal right now. Whether it's with a jerk bait or a little swim bait or whatever it happens to be. The problem I had with the jerk bait last weekend is a lot of fish were shying off of it. You watch them come up underneath it and they would shadow it for just a second and then run from it. And I don't know if it's because of pressure or the day or what it's because, but they're smart. You can tell they've been beat on.
That's the truth. They get a ton of pressure around here. I'm sure there's a little bit of a vertical bite, and I'm sure you're probably seeing crappie fishing everywhere, right?
There's crappie loading up on some boat docks. So I mean, worst case, if you can't catch some bass, there's lots of crappie to be had. And stripers are still stupid. So feel free to go catch them in plethoras and see how far up in the woods you can throw them.
Understand that racket, don't we? Josh, brother, man, we appreciate everything. Thanks for the time. We'll talk to you again next week, and have fun putting them tato baits together, man.
Appreciate you, boys.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 16th. Hey, we're getting closer to Christmas time, and St. Nick's going to come around. But I know St. Jennifer has been out with Tom, our good friend Tom Mott. They're out there on Guntersville telling us everything. I hear crappie are going pretty good up there, aren't they?
Yeah, Dano. I'm telling you, I took a little heat for telling people to stay in and organize their tackle last week. But, you got to use whatever tactic you can to get out on the lake. And, so, no, we tried to get out there and beat those storms. And, I mean, the crappie bite's very strong right now. It's just the size was incredible. I'm sure that had something to do with the storms coming through. But, like we said last week, we're just targeting those creek channel bends with a lot of bait in them and fishing the grass edges in about 10 to 8 foot, something like that, and we're just finding little groups of crappie. So it's a good tactic. It's keeping the freezer full, and we're definitely going to have some fish fillets for this summer. On to the bass. As you can tell, I've been chasing the crappie a little bit, but the bass bites really started to. The quality bite has started to pick up. We've just started to see those smaller groups of big fish that are targeting, just a lot of bait. That the lake is just chock full of bait. We could really use a super cold snap and just take some of the shad out. But right now it's just chock full. The birds are going crazy, and that's really all that we're doing is just following birds, throwing that A-rig, a jerk bait, a chatterbait starting to catch a few fish. Of course, the rattle trap, we've talked about that. Just hasn't gotten to pure rattle trap time, at least in my mind, but it's coming. And, if you get a chance, get out there. Maybe you'll see Santa out there and he'll bring you something good. I don't know.
You in a suit, I can see that. What's the water temperature like? What are they? Are we obviously probably on the decline, but what's it like?
We're still seeing mid 50s right now. So, mid lower 50s, and just depending upon where you're getting the water fluctuation's been the biggest deal. I mean, they've dropped the bottom out of it, they've raised it up, and I'm sure some of that's in anticipation of storms, but it's always a little frustrating when you're out there and you've got a depth in mind, but it's not too hard to find the fish. I mean, they're not moving 300 or 400 yards like you might see later in the year.
Tom, as always, brother, we appreciate everything. Thanks for the time and the insights. Tell St. Jennifer we said hi, and we'll talk to you again next week, brother.
I'll definitely do it, guys. Tight lines, get yourself out there and get you a freezer full of crappie, and we'll talk to you next time.
Sounds good. That'll do it with your Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, December the 16th. Thanks to Tom, Josh, Lee, and Gentry for checking in. Hopefully that helps you put a few more fish in your boat. From all of us at Bucks Island, we wish you a Merry Christmas. We will see you after the break. Thanks for spending the time with us. We will be back to give you the fishing report next week as well, but the shop is closed. Enjoy the time with your family, and we'll look forward to seeing you afterwards.